Organizational commitment can be defined as aligning goals, resources, systems, and people to accomplish the organizational mission in a way that increases the capability of the organization and the people in it. This alignment can be developed by using our equation of success. There are 7 elements to consider: measurement, level, control, resources, project management, alignment, and consensus. Success is obtained by multiplying all of these elements. Notice that in this equation, each element is multiplied by the other, so that if any element has a 0 value, failure will result. Now, let's look at each element. The first is measurement. While it may be a truism that what gets measured gets improved, that statement still begs the question about what should be measured. I suggest that when management decides what to measure, you should keep a few things in mind. First, measure whether the actions you said should be done are being done, and review all the past measures of success you have used for your organization. You may come to realize that what you were using before to measure your organization's success may not be appropriate for an organization or community attempting to globalize. The second element is the level question. When developing an organization, there are 4 levels of change that an organization must consider. Level 1 changes refer to those resulting from an organization evaluating possible futures, as we have discussed previously. Level 2 changes refer to those emanating from an organization's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, also as we have discussed previously. Level 3 changes are those that substantially change the internal processes and systems that make up an organization. Level 4 changes are those that make incremental changes to existing systems in a company. In order to successfully make change, management must decide which among these techniques will best fit the organization and accomplish the objectives they decide upon. But how do you decide? After the initial assessment of the current conditions the organization faces, which we talked about in another module, management must decide how much change the company must undergo to globalize. If there is a significant difference between existing systems and what needs to be accomplished to be globalized, and much of the company needs to be changed, Level 3 changes are suggested. If, on the other hand, there is only a small difference between existing systems and what is required, and only a small portion of the company needs to be changed, Level 4 techniques and changes will suffice. Management must have the control and resources necessary to make the changes that are needed. It is all too easy to come up with plans that look beautiful on paper, but if actions that make that plan happen cannot be implemented, there is little chance for success. In addition, good project management is necessary. Steps in the proper order must be outlined, milestones created, progress reports made, and tasks tracked. One of the trickier factors is alignment. In fact and perceptively, management's actions must be consistent. The organization's business or productive situations and goals, the organizational change strategy being contemplated, its organizational systems, and the plan of action to accomplish the change must be aligned with one another. Just like a team of horses, they must all be focused in the same direction. Otherwise, the results can be messy. I cannot understate the necessity of making sure all organizational systems are taken into account when you attempt to align your organization. By systems, I mean IT systems and databases, organizational structure, customer relations, supply chain management, purchasing, training, and employee selection. They must all not only function well on a day-to-day basis, but have sufficient capability and capacity to accomplish the new tasks and functions that running a global company requires. Lastly, there must exist a consensus among senior management and leadership, and by extension among the employees and customers of the company. One way to encourage consensus is by involving employees in the change process as early as possible. Depending upon the company, this may mean that employees provide input to the change plan, or at least provide feedback and implementation assistance once the plan is developed. Customers can also be an integral part of the change process, but senior management must conduct an extensive analysis whether they want to keep their current customers as they expand globally, since in some cases their customers may become competitors. One of my past clients was a 900-person organization undergoing significant change. We helped them assemble a diverse 16-person change team taken from multiple levels of management and employees. 2 union representatives were also included, as well as the head of the organization. An employee survey was conducted and a number of issues came up, including fairness of promotions and rewards, management of change, communication, and a number of operational issues. We took this team off-site for a week to develop recommendations. Facilitated by us, they revamped how people were selected for jobs, and new methods of communication were put in place, including skip-level meetings. In these meetings, the head of the organization met with a random selection of employees and asked their views on a wide variety of subjects. Throughout the teams, there were many discussions and arguments, but what was so amazing was the openness of everyone towards discussion and their willingness to hear each other's viewpoints. By the end of the week-long session, management had sometimes argued for a traditionally union positions on problems, and the union representatives had promoted what traditionally had been the management positions on problems. Additionally, everyone who attended became firmly committed to the recommendations that this cross-section of employees had developed. I have covered several concepts, from the assessment of your organization and its global opportunities, to developing senior management and the organization itself. Though not an easy task, with an open and globally focused management, it's quite possible to lead and achieve. All you need to do is read the Wall Street Journal and the Harvard Business Review to see the many success stories of companies making the change from local to global.